Shalom. So today we're going to discuss, is the Trinity found anywhere in Tanakh? I know Christians are Trinitarians, because not all Christians are Trinitarians. But you Trinitarian Christians love to go to Genesis and say, see, Jesus is here in the story of creation. We're going to prove in this video that the Trinity is nowhere to be found in Genesis or in Tanakh entirely. By the end of this video, you guys should get a better understanding of what's going on here in Genesis. We're going to start off in Genesis 1:26. This is where Christian Trinitarians run to and say, look, this is Jesus here in the story of creation. See, proof of the Trinity. Let's read it. Then the Lord said, let us make mankind in our image, after our own likeness. There you go. Christians drop the mic, walk away, drop the Tanakh or their Bible, and don't continue to read. And they say, look, see, Trinity. We see God, the creator, he's talking to someone who's helping him create. That's the trion. Now, what they make a mistake by doing is they don't continue to read. If you read 2 chapters later, you're going to see God uses the same plural pronoun here as he does in 1:26. Let's read Genesis 3:22. God uses the same word here. When speaking with the angels, he says, then the Lord said, behold, man has become just like one of us, to know good and evil. Another example, Genesis 11:7. When the Lord said, let us go down and confuse the languages. You see how Christians don't run to these other 2 verses and say, look, there goes the Trinity as proof text, right? You have God here using the same plural pronoun here as us. What's going on here, God is the creator king, the Lord is, right? The Holy One of Israel. He's speaking to his ministering angels. That's what's happening here. He's speaking to his heavenly court, as some people say, right? Now, I'm going to show you, if you go to Isaiah 6:8, I'm going to show you a few more proof texts here, scriptures that you could go to when the Most High is addressing his angels, his ministering angels. That's all he's doing. He's telling a story here in Genesis where, Moses is documenting it. But he's addressing his ministering angels when he says, let us, let us. In Isaiah 6:8, it reads, who shall I send? Who will go for us? Go to 1 Kings chapter 22, 19-23. The hosts of the angels are with God as he asks, who will go down and be a lying spirit? I'm just showing you guys here when the Lord is telling you, when he's speaking as us or speaking in a plural pronoun, let us or let me, I'm going to show you. He's speaking to the heavenly angels here. That's all that's going on. That's all that's going on in Genesis. Don't get confused or stuck on this Trinity doctrine that's nowhere in Genesis. Now, even if you go to Jeremiah 23:18, who has stood in the counsel of the Lord? Who has perceived to know his word? I'm just showing you this here in Jeremiah to show you the counsel, This is talking about, the heavenly court of the Lord, right? Now, a lot of people go to these New Testament verses to prove. There's a lot of pastors and theologians, Christian theologians, who say, hey, the Trinity is a mystery. We don't fully understand it. We can't fully grasp it, but it is true and we believe in it because I know it can be proven, right? And it's not consistent with Tanakh. Now, the maybe 2 or 3 verses that you find in the New Testament, 2 of them are John is the author. One's in the Gospel of John, the other one's in 1 John, where these verses are added centuries and centuries after, so-called John's life. So you're talking about hundreds of years after the fact that Jesus supposedly, walked the earth and ascended. So this doctrine of the Trinity, I don't even believe the first century believers of Christians followed this Trinitarian belief. But it doesn't surprise me because, the Trinity doctrine through pagan deities and many other cultures and religions was popular at this time. So I could see why they wanted this Jesus, to fall under that same kind of pagan ideology. But just to prove a point, those New Testament verses that you guys pull out as far as Trinity doctrine or proof, that stuff is, some of it's found, 10 centuries later. That's the oldest scriptures you guys have, 1,000 years after the fact. So you can't really run to the scriptures. Anyway, so I pray you guys got a little bit of edification of this short video. I pray all of you guys repent of idolatry, leave the New Testament, return to Tanakh, live a Torah life. Shalom.